Are you a soldier or a slave? In Tokyo, Australia has 486 athletes who are representing their country across 33 sports. My favourite events, yes, we know I'd love to be an equestrian rider, but my favourite events to watch are actually basketball and swimming. I don't know about you guys, but they are the two that I love. But what I love the most about the Olympics is that sport enables well-loved national values like mateship, having a go, and fairness to be played out in the big arena in front of the whole entire world. And I don't know about you, but I proudly watch the Australians because they do really well for a small country. We can all agree that freedom, respect, and equality is also central to our Australian lifestyle. So why is it important that we have values here in Australia? Well, values ensure that we have a secure, prosperous and peaceful place to live. And because these values define and shape our country, it is no wonder that so many people desire to become Australian citizens. This morning, and above all else, let's single out one value, and that is freedom. And despite the perception that our freedoms are readily under attack, I want to challenge each one of you today as young people, as teenagers, to live freely by considering the title of my talk. Are you a soldier or a slave? So let's get started. In 1 Peter 2:16 it says clearly, be wise and strong and free from slavery. Be wise and strong and free from slavery. Short and sweet, but Peter has a message, and he's asking each one of us to think more carefully about the choices we make, perhaps, and not allowing ourselves to be influenced by others. As teenagers, choose your friends wisely. I'm sure your parents have told you this over and over again. Choose your friends wisely. Stand firm on the values that you've been brought up with. If you ignore the advice, you cannot live freely, and you will become enslaved. The reality is that teenagers have many distractions and challenges to deal with. Why am I singling out teenagers? Let me give you a little history lesson into the background of how the idea of teenagers was actually invented. Before World War II, around 80 years ago, the word teenager did not even exist.
Really?
No.
Oh my goodness.
There was no category between childhood and adulthood. The category teenagers was created to motivate society to spend more money and to stimulate the market.
Would you look at that?
Surprise.
Surprise, surprise. That is so
How different is it today? I mean, you can see that this is well and truly happening. So there was a plan. They also created a new set of expectations for young people at that time too. And every generation has its own set of expectations. During the 40s, young people had similar expectations as you have today in contemporary society. Teenagers then and teenagers today have expectations to fit in. So, again I say the verse in Peter, be wise, be strong, and free from slavery. Now you know what Peter was trying to say in his text. When we think of fitting in, we think of what's cool. Some of these items, and I've got them on the slide, might resonate with you more than me. I don't know much about those shoes, but I believe they're called TNs.
TNs, yeah.
All right, so Jono, have you got a pair of TNs?
No.
I don't know what they are.
Okay, well apparently they're really cool. I don't think they're that fantastic, but apparently they're very cool. Have a look at the next one. All right, well, you all know what those things are, but apparently they're the ones that are a little bit expensive. They're the pros.
Very expensive.
Right? So, and then there's the next lot. Oh, these ones are very expensive, and I think they are called Pro Max.
Wow.
Similar to the Beats, I think.
Yeah,
and then
Beats.
this is something I probably think I could have. I like this one.
Rolling up to school.
And I know that the red cars drive faster.
Yes, they do.
So, yeah, what is cool? What is cool for you? If you're the type of teenager that does not care about fitting in, you actually might be free. Let me say that again. If you're the type of teenager that does not care about fitting in, you actually might be free. Let me test you by answering the following question. And Chanel, I'm going to test you because you're here. I don't have any of the students here.
All right, yep.
So students, just listen to this as I'm asking Chanel these questions. Is popular music important to you?
Yes and no.
Okay. Do you have the latest iPhone or Samsung?
I do not.
Are you influenced by your friends?
Only in the best of ways.
Do you strive to be accepted by others?
I do, yeah.
Do you make choices based on being accepted?
Sometimes.
Do you swear because it's cool?
I do not swear because it's cool.
Do you bully others because it makes you feel better?
No.
Do you care too much about how you look?
Yes.
Do you feel you're missing out when you're excluded by others? Is Snapchat, Instagram or TikTok part of your daily routine?
Daily routine, I think it is, yeah.
I can tell you, I have taken myself off Instagram and Facebook
Really?
of late. Yes,
Wow.
I
Social
am
media cleanse?
doing the cleanse.
Awesome,
yes.
love it.
Is receiving likes on social media personally satisfying?
It is a little satisfying. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you're honest and if you've answered yes to any of these questions in your mind, it is unlikely that you are completely free and more likely to be culturally conforming and by definition a slave.
Wow.
And I'd have to say that, yep, I can relate to some of those too. It is also likely that you do not have the power to speak, act or even think as an individual. Now, if you think about society at the moment, being an individual, yeah, that's a huge question for debate. This is why knowing your history is so vitally important, because you just might see that other possibilities exist and this could inspire you to be radical. Interesting.
Radical.
By making choices that are based on who you are rather than who others want you to be.
Wow.
Theodore Roosevelt, 26th US president, once said, "The more you know about the past, the better prepared you are for the future." Not knowing the past is a form of ignorance that leads to a kind of slavery. Therefore, it is easy for teenagers who are not wise and strong to be swayed by the expectations of their peers and of the big industries that market anything from fashion to music, from technology to entertainment. This is slavery. It is so important and so consistently rewarded that wisdom and strength, as Peter suggests, is what's needed to free you from the conformity to teen culture. The next slide is Nina Lean. She's beautiful. She's a teenager. In 1940, when teen age was still hyphenated, Life magazine covered the new teen phenomenon. Teenager Nina Lean, who said the following in this magazine. They did an article on her and she said this: "There is a time in the life of every American girl when the most important thing in the world is to be one of a crowd of other girls and to act and speak and dress exactly as they do. This is the teenage." That's no different to how we feel now, or you might feel now. This was not a very enviable beginning for the meaning of teenager. And surprisingly, things have not changed much in 80 years. So who do you please? Yourself, your parents, your peers? What do you, or what will you compromise in order for you to fit in? It is not easy to be a principled teenager. All of us like to be liked, and be rejected by friends can be devastating. But just like Nina, the girl in the article, you know deep down that living to be liked, striving to be cool, is the same as being a slave. And if you belong to Jesus, that slavery may be a torment worse than rejection. Living for superficial things is meaningless. In contrast, in 1942, a young man by the name of Jack Lucas also made a decision that he thought would be cool. Now, he's 17 here, but when he was 14, He fast talked his way into the Marines, fooling the recruits with his muscled physique. He stowed away on a transport out of Honolulu and 3 years later, at 17, landed on D-Day at Iwo Jima, a Japanese island, without a rifle. He grabbed one lying on the beach and fought his way inland. Jack and 3 comrades were crawling through a trench when 8 Japanese sprang in front of them. Jack shot one of them through the head and then his rifle jammed. As he struggled with it, a grenade landed at his feet. He yelled a warning to the others and ran the grenade into the soft ash. Immediately another rolled in. Jack Lucas, 17, fell on both grenades. His story, depicted in James Bradley's Flags of Our Fathers, you might know it, he endured 21 reconstructive operations and became the nation's youngest Medal of Honour winner and the only high school freshman to receive it. And he thought joining the army was cool. You too, teenagers, are at war. And knowing you are at war must change the way you think. And must change the way you think about being cool and fitting in. Clothes, your hair, you name it. Drinking, smoking, feeding your mind with garbage. You must be thinking, okay, what is actually cool? At some point in time, you're going to have to make a decision. The enemy is stronger than the Axis of Germany, Japan and Italy. Indeed, stronger than all human powers put together. Our battle is daily. Your battle is daily. It is fought in every locality, and its victories and defeats lead to heaven or to hell. Put on the armour of God, and you may be able to stand against the schemes of the enemy. Fight the good fight of the faith. So what's really going on? What battle is happening within you? What are you dealing with? Peer approval? Ego? What is it? How powerful this enemy is. He has swallowed up more teenagers, perhaps, than any other adversary, even lust. He comes with horrible stories of how painful your shame will be if you do not conform to this world. He will lie to you and say that the only alternative to the mood and fashion and music and movies and sexual pleasures of this world is utter humiliation and embarrassment. The great general, though, God, sees it all, and his walkie-talkie lights up with messages for his embattled teen soldiers. Do not be deceived. I'm going to leave you with 1 Peter 1:24-25. All flesh is like grass, and all its glory like the flower of grass. The grass withers and the flower falls, but the word of the Lord remains forever. So what battle are you in? What kind of soldier are you? And are you ready to fight for your freedom so that you may live more freely?